Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this video, when you see this video, or where you're watching from. Okay, there's so many things to talk about. Right now, I want to talk about trend. I'm sure you may have heard of trends before. Must have heard about trend if you're someone who has been inclined with the charts. Must have heard about trends. Must have heard of uptrends or downtrends. And in this video, I want to simplify that for you. Okay, and also show you how not to mix up the whole process, especially when you are looking for the trend of a particular pair so that you can join a trade. Okay, so this is Euro USD on the daily time frame, but before then, let's go to the monthly time frame first of all. This is on the monthly time frame. Let me remove all this. Okay, now if you look at this chart very well, what will you say is a trend? Looking at all of this, what will you say the trend is? Some may say downtrend because this place have not broken and all that. But if you say downtrend, you won't be totally wrong. But if you say uptrend, I will go with you, because the trend most times is exactly what is happening at that particular time. What has happened before is important, but what is happening now is even more important. Do you understand? Okay, so this is on the monthly time frame. Okay, so all of this has happened before. They're actually important, but what is happening right now is actually more important than what has happened before. When we are talking about trends, there are times when we bring all of this into consideration. What is happening on the left hand side of the chart, there are times we bring them into consideration, but for now, what we have presently is actually more important. So looking at this chart from this point all the way to this place, what will you say? You say we are on an uptrend. We are moving higher and higher. Okay, we are moving higher and higher. So how will you know the trend? To make it simple, the way the candles close and the way the structures close, depending on the time frame you're looking at, will determine the trend. For example, on this particular chart, this is on the monthly chart, you see that the candles are closing above themselves. So to confirm that the market is going up and having intention to continue, you see that closing up, this closed below but didn't close below this candle, and this next candle closed inside. This is a piercing candle. This is a piercing candle. This one here is a piercing candle, and then you have this candle sweeping this high and closing inside, and then you have this. So right now the market is still bullish, but this is on the monthly time frame. And if you want to place your trade, you don't come to the monthly time frame to place your trade, except you are trading, maybe you want to hold the trade for many months and all that. But as as a regular trader, most traders prefer to take their trade and close them quickly, so you don't come here to take trade. But there are many things you can get from the monthly time frame. The way the candles are closing will give you a direction of where the market is likely going next. So let's go to the weekly time frame and also observe what is happening here. Okay, so if you come to the weekly time frame, you realize from that last low that was created on the monthly, the market has also been bullish. That's going to the upside. Okay, if it's bearish, that means it's going down. If it's bullish, that means it's going up. So you see that the market keep pushing, and even when it retraced to this zone, it's still pushed above, closed here, still retraced, still pushed above, now it's ranging. As you can see, market is ranging. Okay, so for now as it is, market is bullish, but right now, because of the phases of price delivery, the market is ranging. And what I mean by phases of price delivery is because market does not just move in one direction consistently. There are times when it pushes, there are times when it stops, that is when it ranges, there are times when it retraces to take liquidity, there are times when it continues. So in the phase of price delivery, you have the accumulation, you have the manipulation, and then you have the distribution. Okay, and I'm going to show you those examples subsequently. So as it is right now, let me give you an example. This is accumulation. Here you have the accumulation. Okay, and then you have the manipulation. If you notice, this candle first traded below as though it's going to continue down, and then it now closed inside, and from there the market changed direction. So what you have here is the accumulation, and then what you have here, let me zoom it out so that you can see very well. Okay, so what you have here, this zone here, for this candle to trade below and close in here, is the manipulation, and then what you have, this long candle here, is the distribution. So these are the phases of price delivery. We have the accumulation, manipulation, we also have the distribution. Okay, there are other parts to it which we're also going to cover subsequently. So looking at this chart very well, the market is actually bullish, but right now it's ranging, about to take the next direction. Okay, so let's see the daily, what the daily is doing. I want to just see how we can align it. I want to show you how to mark up the structures that will help you determine market direction. So right now, this is the same low we saw back there on the monthly and on the weekly. This is the same low, you see. So after the market manipulated to the downside and closed in here, the market turned and started going up. So right now, on the monthly or on a very high time frame, candle closures will be used to determine the direction, but on the lower time frame, you will use structures to know the direction. For example, after this manipulation happened here, market pushed up and closed above this range. Okay, it closed above this range, so a new structure has been established by the closure of this candle above this range. So what you have right here is a retracement, and mind you, there is something called a fair value gap, which I'm also going to cover subsequently. I'm also going to cover the types of fair value gap and how to use them. So what we have is a fair value gap, and you have the market retracing back, pushing into this zone and then continuing upward from there. So for you to know that the market is actually bullish is the closure of this candle boldly above this structure, and then it retraced here, pushed, and closed again above this structure. Okay, and then if you go back, if you go up again, you see that the same pattern continued. Keep closing above the structure, keep closing above the structure. And right now, from what I'm seeing right here, the market is actually about to take a new direction. So after it closed there, if you notice, it came back, it couldn't continue this trend to the downside. Market ranged and then closed above this. The closure above this is a determinant factor that the market has intention to continue up. If the market wanted to continue lower after this closure, what you would have gotten here was a retracement and then to continue to the downside. But this market pushed up, Euro USD pushed up, closed above this existing market structure, which is an indication that it wants to continue up. This is actually on the daily time frame. So what you have here also is a retracement, because after it closed here, it retraced back and respected this zone. So if it was to continue down, it would have taken off this zone and then it will continue down. But it came back to this zone, and you see there's a fair value gap here, and then it respected this zone, okay, and then pushed up. pushed up, rejected from this zone, came down into this fair value gap, and then closed again above this structure. What does that tell you? That the market has intention to continue to the upside. So if you ask me, in the next few days and weeks, I believe from this analysis that the market is going to trade to this point. But before it gets here, there's going to be some manipulation, there's going to be some retracement and all that before it will get to that point. Okay, so let's also move down a little more to the 4 hours time frame. If I go by what I'm seeing on the 4 hours time frame, in order to consolidate on what the daily time frame is doing, I expect this market to trade below from this point to somewhere here, at least to around 50% of this particular range. Okay, and then from here I expect it to push up. Expect it to push from here all the way. Of course, there's going to be retracement on the way, but the whole aim will be around this point because the structure has been established. This is my projection on this. Okay, so let's see what the 4 hours time frame is doing. Okay, so there are many other things to talk about. I can't possibly cover everything right now, but based on this line that I drew here, I'm expecting that the market have pushed up, and if you go by the phases of price delivery, we already have a push all the way. We have a range here, and then you have something like a manipulation, as though it wants to go up, and then it's going to turn, start coming down. So I expect this market to trade down all the way, and then from here, possibly this week or next week, then it's going to continue, we're going to continue and then push to the upside. That is my projection. Okay, so subsequently I'm also going to be talking about other things. So for now, I want you to take your time, watch this video over and over, and then if there are other areas you want me to cover, things you don't understand, please make them known to me in the comment section, and I will begin to make videos on them specifically for the areas that you want me to address, and I will make sure I do justice to that. Okay, so the essence of this platform is to help you understand a few things that you may not have paid attention to, or you may not have understood before now. My aim is to simplify them, to make them as simple as possible, and at the end of the day, it's for you to be able to become successful in trading. And in subsequent videos, I will also show you other things in clearer terms, especially when you're able to talk about the areas you want me to cover. And then I'll also be hosting live trade sessions in the future. So for now, take your time to watch this, and also let me know what you want me to cover next in the comment section. I will see you again in another video.